Hello YouTube. This will be part 3 of the review of the iPad Wi-Fi plus 3G model. This is the 32GB. So in part 1 and 2 I pretty much covered what are my thoughts about the iPad and a few built-in Apple apps, which I covered the calendar, YouTube, photos, Safari, and mail. I went a little bit over the settings and I totally forgot about the iPad itself. Well, when you open the app, you notice they got rid of the iPhone iPod Touch setup, and it pretty much looks like a watered down iTunes. Unfortunately, Apple got rid of the cover flow, and you can't look through your albums as nicely as you can on your iPod Touch. If any people don't know anything about cover flow, I will show you a demonstration on my iPod. So they got rid of this functionality of cover flow, but which is a really dumb part is I don't understand why they got rid of this, because they include it in the App Store. They have cover flow just for the apps, a few apps there, and they don't include it in your iPod, which I really wish they'll have an update and include that. Not really, because it does a big use, but it just makes it look nice, taking advantage of the full touchscreen on the iPad. Now, people are claiming that the iPad's touchscreen is not as accurate as the iPhone and iPod touches. Now, I would say I would have to agree on that part, because there are some times when I would touch the iPad and I know where I touched it, and it won't be as accurate. I'm not saying the screen is bad, but I'm saying that the screen is not as accurate as the iPhone's. Also, I was kind of disappointed that the type of touchscreen that the iPad has, they didn't go with an OLED screen, but with an LED backlit glossy screen, and it's IPS technology. Now, I'm not saying that this type of display is horrible. It has very crisp colors, and it has very high res. The resolution is 1024 by 768 pixels, so that's 132 pixels per square inch, and it's just very nice. It is gorgeous. It has vibrant colors. It does have a backlit screen, which is very nice. It's kind of dim right now, so let me brighten it up for you guys. Now, really what I'm going over in this part of the review is the tiny things that I haven't really talked about or pretty much reviewed. So in the settings, if I can zoom in here, in the settings, you have your airplane mode, which just turns everything off, all your radios, your Wi-Fi abilities, and has your notifications, which comes standard in the iPhone and iPod Touch. Like I said, it covers the data, the cellular data information. You also have your wallpaper and auto brightness. You have your picture frame. Now, which people are confused about what this is when you close out your iPad and then you turn it back on, you can have it like a photo frame pretty much, and it will go through your album you select, or through all of your albums, and it will nicely display them for you. So you can also turn it off. That's the little icon. When it's a shade of blue, that means it's on, and you can just turn it right off. Also, you have your mail, contacts, and calendars information in here. You can pretty much customize it exactly the way you want it to. This is also in your iPhone and iPod Touch. Safari, same options. Now, the new firmware upgrade lets you have a choice of Bing, which it wasn't before in the previous firmware. And the iPod, same settings. There's really no difference between these settings between the iPhone and iPod Touch. It's just there's some minor differences between the settings. Photos, same deal here. Store, same deal. And then these are just third-party apps that you buy. Now, the things I haven't really gone over or explained was in Safari. I didn't really mention that Apple didn't include Flash, but they are going towards HTML5, which some sites are now converting to. So when you want to go to a Flash-based site, it won't reload it. So that's a very big con right there. Because if Apple added Flash, it would pretty much sell more than netbooks, and that's probably the biggest con Apple has. Also, other con is that this iPad has no USB ports and has no camera or no video camera on the front. Now, in the Safari app, I didn't really go over much about it, but the tabs, you can only have 9 tabs here, and if you jailbreak it, you can get more than 9, which I mentioned before in my previous video. Now the YouTube app is not the greatest. The only real differences are they have more of your top choices that one would use, like they added the history tab on here instead of going to on your iPod. So if you went to YouTube on your iPod, you would have to go to more and then select a certain feature you like to do, which is history or playlist, etc. They actually included that on here. But what I have to say is YouTube on the iPad is really slow. It doesn't really depend on what service you have. It's just really, in general, it's just very slow, because I have Verizon Files and it's always fast on my computer and my laptop, and it's just very slow on the iPad. Now the only good thing about this YouTube is there's more, you can view, it shows more videos at a time, so you can view more. And say you want to select a video, it shows you the information right there, and you can show the related videos, more from, you can comment it, and you can view a big amount of the comments. You can add it, you can share it, you can rate it, you can flag it. You can do many things with this, the new YouTube app. I really wanted to go over YouTube a little bit more. The things I really wish that Apple included was, you know, the categories and the uploads. Yeah, it's not possible to really upload a video, but it would be nice to have an app that transfers your video from your iPhone to your iPad and then directly upload it from your iPad. And the really nice thing I would like to have is the categories, or the most viewed, so you can look through it. Well, this is the most viewed, but the categories, like a categories and categories. So say I want to look up like technology and science category, and then look if I want to do gadgets or what have you, we're looking up. So it's not that option really in the iPad. YouTube is a little bit better than the one in iPhone, but they didn't really try their best on upgrading it. I also forgot to mention that Apple did not include a calculator app, and you have to pretty much buy one. They also forgot a clock app. Now this one is not that great, but you just pretty much add a clock to what city and country you want. I also forgot to mention actual cons about this iPad. The only real con to mention was there's no flash, and there's no USB port and no camera. There's way more cons about this iPad. Number one, I think it's overpriced compared to a netbook price. The base 3G model, which is 16 gigabytes, is $629.99, and I got the 32 gigabyte, which is $729.99 plus tax. So it's really an overpriced device. I could have got a really good desktop for that money, or a really upgraded netbook, or maybe a laptop. For that much money, it's a waste pretty much to other people. But if you just want a small, slim profile device that has very good battery life, the iPad is the way to go.